Hi everyone, it's Jen here and welcome to Jen's World About Art. So today I'm going to do a little landscape of the mountains around near my house. It's one of my favourite places to go. I ride my bike up in these mountains. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I thought I'd just have a little bit of fun and make up a little sketch for today. I don't do a lot of landscapes, so yeah, it was fun to practice. So at the moment I'm just drawing in a rough sort of little scene. I'm just going to pop a creek in, pop a couple of gum trees. So these are snow gums. They're beautiful trees. They've got the most beautiful colours on them. When their bark falls off, they're white, but they have like rainbow colours when they're wet. They're just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm popping in some little trees in the background, just roughing in sort of little landscape, little tips and little clues to give me ideas on where I need to add some green and different colours. So I sort of just roughly mark out everything that I need to pop in. So I'm going to add the sky colour in, and I'm careful to leave the white of the trees, just the white of the paper. So I just use pure cobalt blue, very diluted, and I take that across the whole sky and go across the mountains as well, because I'll add the colour over the top. And then I blot out with a bit of kitchen towel to create the clouds. Now I make up the green for the trees in the distance and the grass in the distance. So I go in with yellow ochre into a little bit of blue, and that makes a bluey green for me, which is a very Australian colour, which I really like to use. And I take that everywhere that's going to have that colour, and our grass has that colour in it too. So I take it up to the foreground, up to the waterline. Now I darken up the mountains and I go in, I add some olive green with a little bit of yellow ochre, and I take that on the distant mountains and just add that in, so that creates the mountains farthest away. And I also add some tree shapes in, just little blobs of colour, of the same colour, bringing it down into the foreground to give the idea of trees. So it just sort of looks like trees way off in the distance. Now I start to add a little bit of texture around in the foreground. I just create a little bit of grass using a green. I've used a little bit of sap green, a little bit with a little bit of blue, just to create another different kind of green. And I use that very diluted in the background just to create some different sort of paddock colours. And yeah, I just start to add a little bit more detail here. I mix up a darker green with a bit of brown, and I take that along the edge of where the river's going to be, or a little creek, just along the edges of it, anywhere that's going to be shadowed. So that's, yeah, a bit of burnt umber, a little bit of blue. And then for the water, I add a bit of blue. And I leave little gaps of white for the shimmer on the water. There's little reflections on the water. So I make sure to leave a little bit of paper showing through. And I build up a couple of layers just to make it look a bit darker in areas. Now these trees are mostly white, so I'm just going to wet the trees with clean water, and I'll drop in, because at the bottom of the tree, so all the bark's dropped off the top, so there's only sort of bark colour at the bottom, and I'm using Indian red and a little bit of brown and a little bit of transparent sienna, because the bark, you know, little patches that are left are those beautiful colours. So I just pop those in wet, so just very diluted paint in on the wet paper and let it travel around, and it creates that beautiful snow gum effect. After I'd sort of completed the drawing, I decided the trees needed a couple of branches on each of them, so I decided to add that in after. So I just sort of mark them in with a little bit of a green tone, and then I'll go in with a bit of gouache over the top and create some white branches and pop some leaves on. And I make a blue-green for the leaves using a bit of sap green, and I add a bit of blue to it because Australian, leaves on gums are quite a blue-grey tint. So I make a bluish green tone for the leaves. I add some finishing touches with a little bit more white gouache, and we're just about done. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy this video. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Okie doke. Bye.